Hello and welcome back to the channel of Motorbike Nonsense. I'm here at Aprilia today for a bit of a day of riding, lots of different bikes. So first up is the 2021 Aprilia Tuono V4 Factory. Now I've already ridden it, so I'll jump to that in a minute, but I just want to give you a quick walk around and show you the new bits on the bike, and then we'll go and take it for a bit of a razz. Here it is then on the manhole cover of glory. Sorry it's a bit noisy here, there's a man stripping ahead and race cars going around the racetrack. But yeah, 2021 Tuono V4, basically it's got a new look, look. New running lights, new headlights, it looks a lot more modern and a lot sharper. You've got the new Öhlins Smart EC2 semi-active suspension. Same old 1077cc engine, now Euro 5, still 175 horsepower and I think 121 Newton meters of torque. And a red seat, new underbraced swing arm to make it look a bit more MotoGP. But yeah, it's that same classic Aprilia V4 thing. Lovely colour dash, riding modes, you can see I've been getting 38 mpg. But yeah, that's basically the bike. New look, the new suspension, and new emissions-y stuff. Let's go for a ride and see what it's like.
This is going to be just the first impressions ride really, because it's part of an organised group ride, so I don't know what the pace is going to be like, let's just say that, because we're with a bunch of other bits and bobs. Anyway, so yeah, I'll get going in a minute and you can join me on what hopefully is going to be a bloody good bike for the road. Let's get going. Right, let's go, let's fire it up. I can't hear it because everyone else has got their bikes going as well. Right, let's start in sport mode. That's not an Aprilia, that's a Ducati. DRS V4, I'm going to ride that in a bit and give you a video on that. Right, very initial riding impressions are the riding position isn't actually quite as leant forward as the Super Duke. It's not quite as extreme, but it feels already firmer in the chassis. It kind of just feels like a sports bike. This is going to be an interesting ride, I think it's fair to say, but it's dried up, hopefully that will be good. Oh dear. Right, anyway, this is going to be a bit boring dual carriageway first, so I'll see you in a minute on the Aprilia Tuono V4 1100 Factory. Yeah. Right, initial impressions are, let's get out of tour mode because the anti-wheelie is incredibly intrusive. It is very quick, 175 horsepower, but it's sort of super linear progression to the way it delivers the power. It is it's very smooth, yet you still sense it's got loads of mid-range shove and low down grunt, and obviously being a V4 it makes a lovely noise. Despite being Euro 5, it's still very sonorous, the engine in this. It feels less wild than a Super Duke, but at the same time just as rabid. Right, obviously this has got cruise control like the RS660. It's just a basic cruise system. You set it using this little switch on the switchgear, so you can take the weight off your hands and scratch your ass on a motorway, things like that, should you need to. That's basically it for comfort. There's no heated grips. I'd say the riding position, you can certainly tell this is derived from the RS V4. You can feel it in the peg height. Just trying to stop my phone falling out my pocket. But it's not cramped and it's not uncomfortable. Speak to me again in an hour's time, but yeah, it's not too bad. It's certainly on the sporty side of a naked, but you can deal with it. Even in sport mode, the anti-wheelie is quite brutal, cutting in. Might have to go to individual and have a word in a minute. Yeah, I've certainly got plenty of mid-range. There's a really delicious point at about 6,000–7,000 RPM on corner exit where it just waggles the bars lightly. but it's certainly not, you know, an intimidating engine. It's just very smooth, very linear, very predictable. The chassis, I have to say, is bloody good, and the ride is incredibly smooth. That Smart EC2 suspension from Merlin's is doing a great job of cocooning my nads, but the whole chassis, it feels like a race bike chassis. You might like that, you might not like that, but you can tell this is designed for stability with that new underbraced swing arm, things like that. It's quite a serious chassis, and it gives the bike a pretty tied down, I just want to hit apexes at 120 mile an hour feel. It's not immediately giving me the same hilarious feel that the Super Duke gave me. But yeah, it has got loads of power absolutely everywhere. I don't think I'm really going to get a full taste of it at the moment on this ride, but yeah, so far so good, and the noise is bellissimo. Yeah, where the Super Duke could make you feel naughty at 30 miles an hour, I think you'd be going pretty much 70-80 miles an hour before this really comes alive, but we shall see and do more riding. One thing I should point out, the back brake is not particularly effective. I mean, really not that effective at all. You might not be the sort of person that uses back brake, in which case don't let that put you off, but if you do like a bit of back brake action, this is going to leave you wanting, I think. Yeah, this bike wants to be wrung out, but as soon as you're out second gear, you're breaking the law by quite a significant amount. I love the way it does just pick up the front off crests. Okay, yeah, this is quite a silly bike, but it doesn't turn in as quickly as the Super Duke. It needs a bit more of a push, but that feels quite sporty and sports bikey, and when it is leant over, it feels hella stable. But yeah, the engine just wants to go. If you bought one of these, you would definitely need to be happy riding, let's say, at the upper limits of the national speed limit. This is not a bike for bimbling. This certainly comes alive when you get on it. I really wish I could overtake the lead rider. Oh, I've got a bug on my face. Yeah, the throttle connection, let's talk about that. The throttle connection is sublime. It lets you know exactly how much of a dick you can be with it over crests to pick the front up. And it just tells you, yeah, this is how much acceleration you're going to get when you twist it. It feels really well connected, like an old school Ducati almost. So yeah, well done that. I haven't noticed the electronics kicking in yet. I am in sport mode, so the suspension is a bit firmer, everything is a bit sharper. Right, let's talk about manners around town. It's okay. The fueling, when you initially get on it, is a bit abrupt, a little bit snatchy in second gear, 25, 30 miles an hour. Let's put it in third, see if it likes 20. That's actually, yeah, it's pretty tractable. Like, you can pull third gear at 20 miles an hour and it doesn't have too much of a grumble. It's okay, but weirdly it doesn't feel as smooth as the Super Duke, which is nuts considering that's got two pistons the size of Canada thrashing between your thighs. Right, I'm in individual mode, which is not the anti-wheelie down to level 1, just to see what it feels like. I'm not going to turn it fully off because I don't want to look like an absolute piece of poo on a group ride. I think one of the main things that will get you in trouble in this bike is that it sounds so good from the airbox and the engine that you kind of want to just keep it in the second gear to experience it, because that noise only really gets going at about 9,000 RPM around then, so you end up just wanting to absolutely rinse it, and then you do naughty speeds even in second gear. Right, let's talk about the brakes. Yeah, they're bloody fantastic. And actually plenty of feel. The back brake is a little bit weak though, I think it is fair to say. Oh, it's a lot firmer over those bumps than the Super Duke. The suspension is a lot sportier in sports mode and it hasn't got quite the cushy damping of the KTM. The cutouts in the tank actually work really well for my knees for locking in mid-corner. I'm 6'3". I don't actually feel cramped on this. I think the RS-V4 might be a slightly different kettle of badgers. But yeah, everything actually I feel pretty relaxed. My top half certainly is really relaxed. I could tour on this, and my legs are kind of in a reasonably sporty bend, but they're not that bad. Not that bad at all. Overall, it's pretty comfortable for what it is, which is a naked sports bike. To summarise so far, this is an absolute animal, as you might expect, and the chassis is super nailed down, super grippy feeling, gives you tons and tons of confidence. The engine sounds amazing, the brakes are stunning. Yeah, it does just feel like a naked sports bike. That comes with some caveats, obviously. Around town, it is fine, it's easy to live with, but you can just sense that it's not that happy. It just wants to go, it wants to be thrashed. Like sitting as I am at the moment at 3,500 RPM out of basically 12,000. It's not chuntering, but it wants to go. It's kind of, you know, the throttle pickup is a bit snatchy, and at low revs at about 3,000 RPM, when you do gas it, you do get a little bit where the engine just makes this horrible thrashing noise before it decides, oh, you want me to do something. So it's certainly not quite as tractable as you might imagine, but it's pretty decent, and the power is super smooth, and also it goes absolutely banzai picking up the front, second, third and fourth. Off crests, I just feel like on these are quite fast British roads that we've been on, it's a little bit too much at the top end to have loads of fun without getting in trouble. That Super Duke, I mean, you can ping the front up off a crest at about 10 miles an hour. But you know, should we be judging bikes on that? Depends if you want fun. I can already sense this would be faster around the track than a Super Duke, no question of a doubt. This, I think, is less accomplished on the road. Still a brilliant bike. I still sort of want one, just not as much as I thought. The quick shifter and down blipper is super crisp, and yeah, just super precise, does exactly what you want it to, when you want it to. But yeah, I'm just riding this about a gear or two lower than I did the Super Duke, simply because this wants to be revved out a little bit more. It's got a bit less torque, a bit less grunt off the very bottom end of the rev range. Don't get me wrong, fourth gear at 70 miles an hour, it'll still pick up like a bat out of hell, but it's not quite the same. I think I'm giggling a bit less on this than on the Super Duke. But yeah, I mean, they're just two different approaches to the same end, really. Ballistically fast naked bikes. I'm starting to feel a fair bit of heat between my legs. It's probably 12-13 degrees at the moment. But yeah, we've been sat at this temporary traffic light for about 2 minutes, and it's starting to feel a little bit warm. I'm wearing quite thin jeans, but yes, it also feels quite heavy between my legs. Sure, I've got a full tank of fuel, but yeah, it doesn't feel particularly light when you're pushing it around. It feels quite dense. I was just chatting to one of the other journalists who rode the new BMW S1000 Singular yesterday, and he said that feels an absolute featherweight. Also, I absolutely can't find neutral on this. This has only got 400 miles on it, but yeah, it's just going between first and second, no matter what I do. Oh well. You wouldn't ever get bored of that noise, would you? It is beautiful. But yeah, pretty much coming to the end of our little ride on this. It wasn't, you know, conclusive, obviously. Only had about 45 minutes on the bike in a group, but it's enough to tell what this bike's about, really. It's a completely different vibe to something like 1290 Super Duke. This feels a lot more motorsporty, a lot more engineered to go faster around a racetrack. It's still fun on the road, but you've really got to be kind of like chasing the revs and cornering at decent speeds. It's not got the ability the Super Duke has to put a massive smile on your face at kind of like low to medium revs, low to medium speeds. The chassis on this is a bit more tied down, a bit more serious. The electric suspension is brilliant. The ride is pretty plush when you want it to be, and seriously sporty when you change mode. I'm about to go over some shitty gravel, but you know, kind of proves a point. So yeah, it's blisteringly fast. Obviously, it makes a nice noise. It's very, very good. It's perhaps just not quite as heroic as I thought it would be, because I've always wanted one of these, and now I've ridden the Super Duke, I think I'd have more fun on a Super Duke on the road. If I was doing more track days and I lived in Yorkshire with, like, you know, no speed limits, I'd probably pick this. But for now, I think the KTM does win. But this is still one of the best bikes I've ridden in a long time. It's phenomenal. And it feels more modern now with the dash and just the new looks. I think Aprilia has done a really decent job of updating it for 2021, making it, you know, cutting edge. I know it always wins the group tests and everything anyway, but yeah, it's a really cool thing, and it sounds biblical. Right, that's enough waffling. Time for me to go. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, please comment, subscribe, hit the old bell, and I shall see you next time, possibly on an RS V4. Who knows? Thank you. Goodbye.